this week.
I know it's only been a couple of days in State of Play, and I feel like I'm beating a dead horse by covering these trailers yet again, but I was asked to do a deep dive on some of these trailers, and I thought that maybe there was no better place to do this than PSVR this week. So, let's check them out. Resident Evil 4 had a killer reveal trailer. It looks way darker and scarier than the original. But the part of the trailer that we're most interested in is the very end where it says PlayStation VR2 content also in development. And first things first, it should be noted that this part of the trailer was removed from both the PlayStation and Capcom YouTube channels. And nowhere is PSVR2 mentioned on either the PlayStation blog post or the official Resident Evil website. So it is possible that something happened behind the scenes immediately following State of Play to warrant this redaction. Whether that be some kind of legal thing or Capcom realizing that the wording was just horrible and caused a lot of confusion. But either way, if you slow down the trailer, and credit for this goes to Bad Robo on Twitter, you can see quite a few images that look like they're taken from a first-person perspective with foveated rendering turned on. So while we don't know what PlayStation VR2 content specifically means, it does seem like we'll be able to play at least some part, if not the whole game, in VR. And we might even get the answer to that question sooner rather than later. Capcom just announced their own digital event featuring around 35 minutes of news and in-depth updates on previously announced Capcom titles. It's taking place next Monday, June 13th at 6 p.m. Eastern, so we'll probably stream that live during Gamescast and watch it with you.
Well, Ethan Winters, you escaped my little brother's idiot games, did you? Let's see how special you are.
For some of us, the announcement of Resident Evil Village was a given, but that doesn't mean that when it was officially unveiled, we didn't lose our collective minds, because we did.
Yes, Mother.
Dude, my heart is racing right now. I didn't expect to be this excited.
Yes.
This is the perfect start to a State of Play.
Yes.
Unlike Resident Evil 7, we'll have two hands in the game, and it seems like a lot of attention was given to making it VR AF. Over on the official Capcom website, they state, in addition to wearing the headset while playing, you can grip PlayStation VR2 Sense controllers in each hand to perform intuitive actions, like aiming a weapon or holding your arms up to shield Ethan from harm. New actions such as brandishing a knife while firing a gun and dual-wielding a pistol alongside a shotgun have also been added. And of course, in the trailer, you can see some of these interactions, like tossing your gun from one hand to the other, picking up items by reaching out and grabbing them, pushing doors open with your hands, and blocking by making the aforementioned motion in real life. The Capcom site now says that the PlayStation 5 version of Village will be compatible with PSVR 2, basically removing the idea that they'll try to sell us a brand new SKU like Skyrim VR. And while the PlayStation VR 2 upgrade could potentially be free, just know that this doesn't yet exclude the possibility that it'll come as paid DLC. But who knows? We'll keep an eye on this. This one was a huge surprise to see at State of Play, not because we didn't expect a PSVR 2 version, but because we already have a playable VR version on PlayStation 5 that looks stunning. Sean Murray on the PlayStation blog took a look back at how they rebuilt the entire game to work on PSVR 1, and goes on to say simply, the power of PlayStation 5 coupled with the all-new PlayStation VR 2 hardware, including the new Sense controllers, combined to take that sense of immersion and believability up by several major notches. And this trailer does back that up with some super crisp resolutions with impressive LODs and draw distances, but what I'm most curious about won't be the graphics, it'll be how Hello Games implements adaptive triggers and haptics in the headset into their next-gen VR version. Honestly, I can almost feel the rumble from takeoff in the headset now. There was a lot of concern that the next chapter of The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners would feel more like glorified DLC, with a couple of new weapons and a few new enemies, and less like a true full-fledged sequel. And I guess that until we actually play it, that could be the case, but the new French Quarter setting will be a refreshing change of scenery, and it's hard to argue with a new chainsaw to plow through the undead with, not to mention what looks like potential boss fights. The graphics here are a huge step beyond what was seen in the original, although compared to the other games that were shown, there's admittedly still plenty of room for improvement. My favorite part of the trailer is right here though, when you're walking up to a car and a body lands directly on top of it for what I can only imagine is a solid jump scare when you're wearing the headset. I'm really hoping for a lot more of these scripted moments in the final game, which would really help set it apart from the original.
They sing will be righteous.
Where are you taking me?
I think we saved the best for last. The Call of the Mountain trailer kicks off with the same boat scene we saw in the initial reveal and keeps us there for a solid 29 seconds, which, considering all the conspiracy theories out there that the entire game would just be an on-rails shooter, it kind of felt like Sony was trolling us a bit. But then the boat gets overturned, and for the next 77 seconds, we're treated to a good variety of gameplay. Everything from swimming, climbing, and even a little bit of what looks like crafting, which is actually confirmed over on the PlayStation blog. Throughout your journey, you'll master various tools and weapons, and use the world's many materials to craft additional gear, equipping you for any situation. But you won't be going it alone. Along the way, you'll meet Horizon characters new and old, including Aloy herself. It's interesting to note that the PlayStation blog also mentions that alongside the full campaign, there is actually a riverboat experience included, which sounds similar to Ocean's Descent on PSVR Worlds. This could be good for either new PSVR2 gamers who need to acclimate to VR for the first time, or just something beautiful to put your non-gamer friends and family in. The environments here look absolutely stunning, but even the amazing visuals can't keep us from asking the important questions. How long is the campaign? How much freedom do we actually have? Does it play more like Horizon or more like an Uncharted game? Are there any stealth segments, and do we ever fight more than one machine at a time? Well, I guess time will tell.
It will take all your wits, your skills, and courage.
Tapped into a surveillance drone. Eyes on.
Rog.
Alright, let's get into some actual PSVR this week goodness. Now that the floodgates on PSVR2 are starting to creak open, it's very possible we'll start seeing publishers other than Sony talk about their PSVR2 plans. And if the rumor started by Call of Duty aficionado Ralph Valve of What If Gaming is to be believed, we could be seeing something from Activision as early as tomorrow. Infinity Ward's ambitious plans for Modern Warfare 2 continue to thrive, shaping several new player experiences, now incorporating a comprehensive virtual reality experience for their anticipated title Modern Warfare 2, developed exclusively for PlayStation VR 2, featuring a standalone mode immersing fans in the shoes of a Tier 1 operator. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's exclusive VR experience launch remains unclear, though we should expect to see it released alongside the unannounced release of PSVR 2, available for all PlayStation users to download free of charge. Now, I was on board with this until I read free of charge, because to me that screams Call of Duty Jackal Assault all over again. But if it's true, we should know more soon. The reveal trailer is happening on Wednesday, and we should see some gameplay at the Summer Games Fest on Thursday.
Bravo, stand by for contact.
In a recent interview with Video Games Chronicle, Brez and Tetris Effect producer Tetsuya Mizaguchi talked a bit about PSVR 2. He said, "I can't say anything very specific, but we are very interested and we're thinking about how we can push VR. So we're very interested in new hardware and how we're looking to make VR games better. We're very interested in the PSVR 2. Now, you could certainly classify this under the umbrella of not news, especially considering it doesn't sound like anything is even in development yet. But it's always nice to hear that devs that we like are interested in the tech that we want to play. Alright, bear with me on this one. Played a memory loss of Union soldiers in a sealed space base in Awakening and involved in a dispute over the army camp. The use of weapons and equipment within the base combat of the enemy depend on a mysterious device installed in their armor and return to base on death come out of the fight and rebirth. If you break new through time and time again, accumulated materials, upgrade equipment, unlock new weapons, new skills, grow, and eventually defeat enemies, only to find yourself facing bigger challenges. The translation needs some work, but you get the idea. It's a roguelite, and for a small indie team, it looks pretty fun. Expect Wandering in Space on PSVR 2 sometime next year. Kayak VR Mirage is a jaw-dropping and exhilarating journey through beautiful and unique locations that you experience while maneuvering a fully physically accurate kayak around checkpoints. Crown yourself the fastest or take it easy and take in the sights of the varied locales. Based on this tweet, there does seem to be confirmation from the small team over at Better Than Life that it's coming to PlayStation VR, and considering that it's not even out on other platforms yet, it would make sense that they're targeting PSVR2 with this one. Kayak VR Mirage looks beautiful, and all the previews we've seen thus far have been incredibly positive, so this might be one to keep an eye on.
You for a long time. They're listening.
And this place is my last hope.
What you've found, it's the key to unlocking everything.
This Thursday kicks off Jeff Keighley's annual Summer Game Fest. It's typically a pretty big event, showcasing a lot of new titles, and with rumors suggesting that we'll see everything from a Silent Hill 2 remake to some Village DLC, we figured we better stream it on Without Parole, just in case a PSVR2 logo pops up anywhere. For what it's worth, we're also an official co-streamer of the event, but I'm not exactly sure what that means, to be honest.
This week.